It's Bit Player One's weekly market update, and we're on the S&P 500 here. Just freaking choppy. This trend line has rejected, and we're still getting these lower highs, so watch out for those. That's what it looks like when someone big is trying to exit the market. Also, slightly lower. If this continues down, we'd expect to possibly break this low. We're flirting with this trend break line, so it's starting to look even worse, but this thing, it could very easily just go back to all-time high. So we just need to wait and see what happens in this range, the resolution. Here we have the NASDAQ. It looks like we're actually already below the trend break line. Same story as S&P, just sideways, choppy. We just need to wait for resolution, but a long way down if we are starting a downtrend. We have a different story here with the Dow Jones. The uptrend is totally fine. We're still making all-time highs. We're holding our lower trend line as support very nicely, which all of the indexes play together, so this may be a clue that the other ones resolve to the upside. So that's why I say we really need to just wait and see how this plays out. And now the Russell 2000, the one that did look good, that now looks bad, that could look good again. I don't know what the deal is. This is interesting. We're just now touching the bottom of the line as a resistance. We are forming lower highs here and lower lows. We assume that this leg isn't done and we would go lower. I think a good trade would be here if we get down to that zone again, even if it's just up to this weekly line. We'll see. Yeah, this one's pretty choppy, looking worse, but was one of the better ones. Alright, now the dollar. This one is probably the most important one to really pay attention to, because everything, not everything, but most things are priced in dollar. For now, lower highs. Let me grab my drawing tool. Lower highs. That's kind of same high, but it's generally getting lower, and lower lows generally getting lower. But we have this super long, year-long trend line that goes back to 2008. So this is a strong line because of how long it's been, and it's on a monthly scale. And we're kind of crunching up in this monthly zone here that we drew a couple weeks back. So, I mean, the thing is, this can continue just kind of tightening up in between all of this, and maybe it does go all the way till next year, July. They usually go about 80%, so we could think maybe the rest of this year it could actually tighten up. And then eventually we will get a resolution, and because of how long both of these lines have been compacting price, it will go far in either direction depending on the resolution. So it's important to watch for that. It could happen early too. We could do that, or we could shoot up and then hit something like that. So we really need to just kind of pay attention, because everything is based on the dollar, regarding stocks, Bitcoin, metals, all that. They're all priced in dollar. So this does have a big effect on the way all those other charts move. Bitcoin, what a shame. I feel bad for kind of just giving hopium here, thinking maybe we could hold it, didn't hold it. This was actually really pretty. If you see here, after we got through it, we had one more test to really confirm that this line flipped and is now the top instead of the bottom. That was your chance to get out. And then it really followed through. It's just really hard to tell with this. You know, Bitcoin's known for its trickery. We have broken the trend officially on a weekly and a monthly. What about a monthly? Let's see. Yeah, we broke the monthly trend. If you look, here was low, this was low, this was high, this was all-time high. It looked like this was low, this was new high, this is a now low that's broken this one. So even if you didn't consider this as a low or a high, if this was all one leg, it has confirmed broken this last one. So Yeah, on a monthly time scale, we've broken the uptrend. Personally, I'm buying little bits. I'm starting the process of buying chunks. That's how you do this. Not financial advice, but you're never going to catch the top, you're never going to catch the bottom. But if you wait for it to be on discount or at a premium and you start selling little bits, here, sell little bits. That's what I was doing. I sold some more here, sold some more here, and now I'm starting to buy little bits. And if it gets lower, I'll buy bigger bits. Literally, Bitcoin, BitPlayer 1. Alright. Yeah, looks terrible. Let's see what happens. Was this a quick flush out, or is this the start of a bear market? Alright, on gold, it looks like we probably have a little bit of drawing to do here. Let's go to the monthly. Nothing new. Weekly. This one's worthy of a mark, of a line, I mean. Let's just put a ray there, and we'll mark it as a weekly level. And zoom into our daily. Okay, 4 hours is going to be clear. Alright, there's a zone here. I can just see it in my head, but basically from here to there, there's quite a bit of action, some live action. Yeah, see how we had that touch, that we got stuck in it for a bit, big volume whenever we do move out of it. It caught us, and then it rejected us. Rejected again, rejected. This is an important zone. And the way I drew it was I could just see it, you know what I mean? Like if you use this as your tool to kind of see across the screen as you move it up and down, see how many areas it touches, it was clear that this area has a bunch of touches. So, yeah, I guess that's my explanation for now. I kind of like this. I've seen some other people say that gold's setting up for a trap. I'm not sure what the trap would be, if it's a bear trap or a bull trap, but my personal opinion is watch this trend line. It's very good. It's been going on for quite a bit. Not financial advice, but I'm going to be watching this trend line. We haven't had a close below it in a long time. I really like how we went right through it, but then it closed back up above it. Same thing with these. So in this zone, this would be a nice play zone for, I'm going to be shorting, and longing, and then whenever we get above here, I'm most likely going to long it to see at least what happens up there. We might go for another all-time high. We will have to see. But this is a good play zone for me. Short and long, just taking little bits of money as I can. Silver is quite a bit worse. I don't see anything really nice looking here. I'll remove this Fibonacci for now. Do we have all of our zones marked? I'll mark this as a weekly level. Wow, look how this daily line came into play. Actually, I think I drew it. I either drew it from this, or I drew it last week. This was the real confirmation. That's what I say about these trend lines. They're very simple to draw, but man, they are handy. Because it was very clear that once we came back up and were not able to get through it, that it was more downside. Yeah, silver looks worse. It's unfortunate because this is the one more regular people got into because they missed gold. And there's a lot of people who got in here and they lost half of their money right away. Okay, oil. Man, this trend line is brutal. It's just continuously holding. Let's look at it on the daily. We have this weekly zone that's kind of interfering too. Like I mentioned a couple weeks back, once we get up here, this is probably an area to start watching for chances of coming back down. But oil's been in a macro. It's just terrible. the problem here is we had this like all-time low, and then it pumped up like crazy, and now we have to like have all of this boring action because of how volatile it did get. It needs to calm down, revert back to the mean, as they say. So maybe it's time, maybe it's not time. I don't think so. There's a lot of room here to fill in. That's kind of what I'm a little worried about, is we haven't played around in this area for a long time. There's a lot of macro factors that could make it drop down even more, the way the U.S. is drilling, the wars. I don't know. There's a lot of macro stuff in Venezuela. We could just end up holding this for 2 more years. Alright, natural gas. And this one I was so excited about, and I guess it's still fine. But man, it looked amazing, right? Shot all the way up, which it was amazing actually. This was a really good trade. But man, it gap down, 3 weeks in a row, just straight back down. I know that it's been a hotter than normal winter, but my philosophy is the seasons have changed their months by a lot. Like, I would say from when I was younger to now, seasons have moved 2 months ahead. Like, winter used to start in December, now it starts in February. The seasons have shifted, and we haven't shifted our calendars accordingly. But anyways, sorry for the rant. Still looks good. This line's holding. If it doesn't hold, I'll abandon ship. And like I always say, I bought a couple contracts down here, and I sold off a couple as well, and now I'm buying a couple back, and I'll sell off a couple as it goes up. Always be ABC. Always be buying and selling. But not financial advice. That's just my motto. ABC. Everything's fine. We're good. Higher high, higher low. But watch out, because this is the start of a week. I've been looking, actually, here's the little trick I do. It's not foolproof, but I've been looking at the weather in Canada, because the weather typically comes from the north down through the United States, and you get like a 2-week notice on weather when you look at it from Canada. And their 2-week forecast shows that they're going to be getting a cold front in 14 days, which means we'll be getting a cold front in about 20 to 28 days, which is why I say I don't think winter is like even close to done, but I digress.